What is up, guys? Welcome back to the channel. Today we're discussing sling setup. As I'm getting my new 10.5-inch pistol from Black Rain Ordnance set up, I wanted to talk about how I actually set that up before I take it out on the range. Let's get into it. So like I said before, guys, we've got this new Black Rain Ordnance 10.5-inch pistol, chambered in 5.56, all Gucci'd out with the Forest Frontier logo, SWAT emblem here. They did an incredible job with this Cerakote job. I just love this thing. Cannot wait to go shoot it. Before I do, of course, I got to set it up, right? I need to make sure that I got a good light on it, a good sling, a good sight. And as you can see, I don't have the sight just yet, but I'm working on that. Before I get to that point, I want to discuss with you all sling setup, because I've gone through a lot of trial and error on this. I've done it probably 5 different ways, and I finally found a way that works for me. This is discussing it with senior guys, you know, really figuring out the best way to carry a 2-point sling in this case. I have 3 different setups here: my Daniel Defense, my SIG M400 for work, and let's get into the specifics of how we set up our slings. Now, some guys prefer 1-point slings, and in this case, if you don't know what I'm talking about, they attach it here right at the connector of the lower receiver and the buffer tube. The benefit, of course, for the single point is you have more mobility. I can switch hands. And let's be honest, guys, are you really practicing enough offhand to where you can effectively shoot your rifle? That's a question that only you can answer. But with that being said, I run 2-point sling, guys, not in a single point or 2-point sling debate here. Just want to talk about specifically my setup. For my SWAT rifle, this is a Vickers sling. I'm probably going to switch to the Magpul. I just prefer the simplicity of the buckle on that. But regardless, same concept. I can cinch it down in case I need to go hands-on, and I can loosen it up in the event I want to work around structures I'm building, clearing, whatever I'm doing there. One of the major reasons I like 2-point slings is I can swim under here, secure it down, go to work. You know, maybe I'm the hands-on guy there. I can switch it around my back. If I need to climb over a fence, I swim through, wear it like a necklace, and I look at this, I still have the same benefits of a single-point sling if I just wear it like a necklace. So that is why I prefer the 2-point. Regardless, the way I set it up, you guys can see that I have a QD attachment here on the buttstock. Now, I have this set up on all of my rifles. It is on the outside specifically. Now, some guys will run it on the inside, and there are some advantages to that. But the reason that I run it on the outside is because it's securing to my body. And as you can see, I like to set mine up. Now, this is set a little bit different because of this one. I wear body armor, so I got a little bit more, about an inch of wiggle room there, to where I have this hang a little bit lower, so when it's on my body armor, it's actually sitting here. But what I want is I want it near the top of my chest, near my collarbone, so that when I go to present, I'm already right here with the buttstock, and as I come up, it just rotates perfectly. So I have to get the sizing down. It's the first thing that you got to do. You got to shed out all the extra sling that it comes with, cut it down, burn it with a lighter. That's the easiest way that I know how to do it. But I don't want it too low. So as I set mine up, I want to set it to the tightest point on the sling. So I pull it tight, and right where that sits should be about here. Now again, I wear this one with body armor, so it's a little bit different. But let me show you on my 16-inch Daniel that I have here. So on my Daniel, I have the same attachment points, but I have a Magpul basic $40 sling. Here, as you can see, as I tighten it all the way down, right when it sits, it's right here, right next to my collarbone. So if I give myself some space, I come right up, and even at the tightest point that I set it to, I can still drive out. If I had it too tight, where it was like here, and then I'm getting all caught up like this, I don't want that. So when I set my sling up, I can still come up on sights, but when it hangs, it's tight to my body, and I can move around and I can do different things. So I maybe had my gun up, gave commands, the person goes to the ground, I go to detain them, and here we are. I can work from here. Now, before I get a bunch of hate in the comments below, I don't have a light on this one. That is my next step for this. This is a newer rifle for me as well. Sold my old ones, and now I got a little bit better setup with the Black Rain and the Daniel. I just need to get a light for this thing. Now, going back to my Black Rain, now depending on what comes with your rifle and what rail system that you have. These two are Magpul from Sig and from Daniel, so I can get Magpul attachments, whether it's key mod, Picatinny, whatever the case. Now, this Black Rain did not come with a QD attachment on the actual rail system. It only came with one on the pistol brace here. So unfortunately, I have the benefit of doing a QD attachment here. And for those of you that don't know, QD just stands for quick detach. I push this button and I can pull my sling off here, and then I can just pop it into the designated QD attachment hole here. So I don't have that benefit of the QD attachment on the rail like I discussed before. So I went with this Magpul. It's a Picatinny sling attachment. So all you do is you buy the Magpul little attachment for it. You just pull it down, and you still have the benefit of a quick detach. It's just a little bit different setup. So it's set up for Picatinny. So regardless of what you have, you can set this rifle up in this fashion the way I have it. Let's talk about placement points, guys. I've already discussed that I have the one on the buttstock, or the pistol grip in this, or the pistol brace, excuse me, in this case. I already have it set up on the outside. I don't have it set up on the inside. So guys, let's talk about specifics of where I place the attachment points of the sling to the rifle. Now, on this pistol brace in this case, or stock, whatever you have, I set it up on the outside. I discussed that earlier in the video. I just want to go over specifics of why that is. I don't want to set it up on the inside in my experience. Some people prefer it, but in my experience, as I go to shoulder my rifle, my sling would actually, because it's on the inside, I'd end up shouldering the sling as well. And then I would have issues of just inconsistent presentation, or it was just uncomfortable because the sling is now on the buttstock when I should have a good brace here with my chest, with my collarbone, with my shoulder and everything. But I don't have that because the simple fact that the sling's getting in the way. I just run that on the outside. You guys can see that that is never a problem because it's on the outside. So when I go to shoulder, I'm good to go. The other attachment point, I have it on the rail, and I have it as close to the upper receiver as I can without it getting in the way. I do not have it on the upper receiver because I like to run my sights a little bit further down because I have more field of view. I can, if I'm just running a red dot, this isn't applying to any type of magnification, but if I'm just running a red dot, I like to run it a little bit further up. So I do not want my sling in any way to get in the way of my sight. Not only that, but my reloads. I do not want this thing to get in the way of my reloads. And if I run it too far back, now I'm trying to hit the bolt release, and I'm getting in the way of the sling here. So I don't want to get in the way of the bolt release, the mag. I don't want to get in the way of the sights or anything like that. So let's talk about how we present the rifle. Now, I use a traditional C-clamp. Most people do in this day and age because you just realize biomechanics. This is just better than, grabbing the mag well or any other variation that you may have done over the years. Now, in past practice, this is how it was taught. Keep everything tight, grab the mag well. You can move around structures really easily. But as we know now, that's just kind of, not as good a tactics as we have in this day and age with the C-clamp. So I set my light up down here. I just have a temporary light here for now, guys. Just a Streamlight TLR1. I have an extra. I threw it on there. Not something I'm going to stick with. But I want to be able to activate my light. So I come down here. I can C-clamp, whether it's a pressure pad or button. I can extend out like a boxing stance here. That's all I'm doing. I have a really solid grip, pulling the rifle into my shoulder, and this is what I want. So the reason I bring that up, guys, is some guys want to run this sling all the way to the end of the rail, and then on the buttstock. So you have it at the furthest 2 points, and there are some benefits to it, which I'll discuss in a minute. But if I'm just doing basic CQB, and I'm not just talking SWAT team or anybody doing combat missions or anything like that, but even if I'm going around my house in the middle of the night, I don't want that sling to get in my way. So let me switch out my slings from my Daniel to my Black Rain, and I'll show you what I mean because the Black Rain has an attachment at the end. All right, guys, I switched the slings out so I could show you because this Black Rain comes with a quick detach set up here at the end of the rail. So they like to run it end to end, and nothing wrong with that. I just want to discuss why I don't personally like that. So as I shoulder this rifle, I get it set up the way I need. Okay, good. I have my 2 points of attachment here. As I present, I don't really retain it as well because naturally this is what my presentation wants to do. This is what my body wants to do. It wants to kind of release it from my shoulder. And if I do this here, where I come underneath the sling here, I don't like the fact that it's kind of getting in my way, especially as I'm trying to do things. Swimming out isn't as much of a problem, but just simply me personally, I don't like this sling kind of getting in my way of my C-clamp on the rail here. Just a personal preference. Now, the benefit to this, and the reason guys will set it up this way, is if you want to reach out and touch somebody, what you can do is I can kind of swim underneath, wrap this to create tension on the sling here, pull it into myself, and I have a really stable platform here. So because of my context, because of me living in a city, you know, a populated city, not very rural, my work environment, I'm clearing buildings, never really going out past certain distances. Let's just base it on statistics. I don't want to necessarily worry about securing this, and that's just my long rant on why I don't run it end to end for the sling. I just don't like this thing getting in my way. I mean, if you have a way that it works for you and maybe you like to come underneath and then get that added little tension on it, that works. You can swim through pretty easily. But for me, if I can just get that thing out of the way and I can attach it down here, which I can't with this sling, but if I can just attach it down here, now it's not in my way as I go to move around. The sling is just kind of there. I'd almost rather just not run a sling at all almost as I'm working through structures so I can have mobility and everything. The sling is there as a holster for your rifle, just like your pistol, to let it hang, go hands-on, or maybe you're just, you know, done with using it, so you let it hang and you still have it on you in case, oh no, I need to use it. Here we are. Guys, just make sure that regardless of what I say, you just do what works for you. You set your sling up the way you want to set it up. Just keep in mind the little things that I discussed. Make sure you cut off that excess. I don't need that excess. Once I have it set in the position that I want, okay, this is really secure to me, but I can still present it up. That's important. I want that balance there. So once I have it set up there, it feels comfortable while it's hanging from me. The rest is easy. So I have it set. If you have a sling that loosens and tightens, you can kind of mess with that as well. But for me, I really like bringing it all the way down and then setting it up that way from that point where it's the tightest. But I can cut and burn this excess sling, and it's customized to me. That's the biggest thing I can leave you with, guys. I want to make sure that you have a custom sling set for you, whether you're wearing body armor or not. Make sure that it's set to the right size to where you can utilize this rifle effectively. That's the biggest thing. So guys, that's what I have for you today. As I'm getting this rifle set up along with my Daniel, I wanted to discuss, you know, the importance of really setting your sling up for you. I want to get your guys' opinion in the comments down below. Let me know what you guys think. Let me know how you carry. And in the meantime, we have a lot more exciting videos for you coming out. I have a lot of things in the works in the background that you guys don't see, but the fact is, Force Frontier is going to be a movement. It's going to be a brand. I cannot wait for that. So in the meantime, let me know what you guys think about the slings. Likes, comments, subscribe, all that good stuff. And guys, we'll see you on the next one. Thank you so much for the support.